Hi YouTubers. My name is Ginette Biro. I am a medium, channeler, whatever you want to call it. I communicate with spirit, be it family members, friends, guides, angels on the other side, and I connect with them through frequency and vibration in which I can see, hear, and feel them. Now the reason why I say that is I have been posting a bunch on Facebook for the last long while and Instagram, and I realized that some of the live videos there aren't postable here. And lately we've been going through some really big changes with the pandemic that we're in right now, and I've had these three amazing guides. They call themselves the light. I call them the three guides of the light, but they call themselves the light because they are essentially light. And they've been coming to me. They kind of show themselves as these gray outlines, a gray shadow figure. And they said, we don't need to have physical bodies, but we're showing you that as a manifestation so it makes sense in your brain. And so they show themselves, and they've been coming to me as this pandemic has been progressing. And when they first came to me, they kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't channeling to find them. They came to me and they kind of caught me off guard and then left. And I was like, whoa, okay. And then another time they showed up and they showed me the virus itself. And I got to see the virus almost like at like a molecular level, if you will. And I got to see it and recognize that the energy behind the virus right now is that it's very hungry. It's not hungry in a sense of punishment. Please hear that. It's hungry in a sense of the job that it is doing. So what I'm getting at with this post is that what's happening is happening very much on a physical level, on a very human level. People are getting sick. The world is shifting the way in which it operates right now. And countries and cities and communities are having to lock down and change the way they do things. But on a universal level, what's happening is we are being given a wake-up call. We are being given an opportunity to rewrite the way in which we move around in the world, both individually and collectively. And if we want, we can choose to view this as a gift, as an opportunity. We can stay stuck in the very human experience of it and see it as a punishment, a limiter, a bad thing. Or we can rise to the spirit perspective of it, in which this is an opportunity to rewrite. And the reason why I'm saying that is I had the opportunity in August, almost a year ago. Well, not quite a year ago, but you know what I mean. I had an opportunity to cross over to the other side in a surgery. And so I had a near-death experience in which I got to go to the other side. And part of my experience was that I got to look at my blueprint of my life. And I got to change a couple things that would be coming if I decided I wanted to come back. And I said I did want to come back, absolutely. And so because of that, I got to alter a couple things in my path, but I wouldn't remember what they were until they happened, is what I was told. So when I came back and I was here, I could recognize that things were different, but I had to then change the programming in my brain of how I did some things to recreate. And it was kind of confusing to me. And so I said to Spirit, I don't really understand what you're saying. And they said, listen, you've had an opportunity to come back. And so what we've done is we've kind of wiped the slate clean, in a sense. We've given you a blank canvas to now create with everything that you've done up until that point. Now moving forward, what do you wish to create? And so at first I was like, well, that's amazing. But what I didn't realize was that in that, I had to then change the programming within me to create something different. Because if I went back and did the same things, I would be creating the same results. So I had to change the programming. And why I'm saying that is this is what's happening collectively right now in the world. We're having an opportunity to be in an experience in which the foundations that we understand the world right now are crumbling. And we then get to rewrite what that is. We are given this kind of blank canvas to create again based on what we change. Now, when I went to these three guides after I recognized who they were, understood why they were here, they were communicating to me about the pandemic, we went to them and said, okay, we have these questions of how long is it going to last? How many people are going to get sick? All these very human left brain questions. And what they came back with was surprising yet now that I've pondered it a lot, is not surprising. And their main message was that we are missing the point. It's not about having every tiny answer to the things that we want to know from a human perspective, because otherwise we wouldn't be learning the lessons that we're learning by moving through it. And if you think about it, some of the best teachers out there teach because they have experienced the thing, right? We love learning from people who have experienced something versus someone that's just regurgitating it from a book, right? So the best way to learn, to gain experience and wisdom, is through doing. But if you know exactly how to do it while you're doing it, then you're not actually learning it, you're just being told, right? So in a sense, that's kind of what's happening. We're being given insights from Spirit in certain ways, but also we're not being given insights in other ways, because in some of the ways, it's a huge value of us to experience, to move through this, to learn as we go. And in their concept of us missing the point, their biggest thing they wanted to stress was this is an opportunity for us to go in individually. And you may think, well, what do you mean individually? Well, any change that is going to happen in the world has to start from within, has to start with you. The idea is as above, so below. I've talked about this before. As above, so below. What happens to you as an individual has a ripple effect in the greater scheme, in the collective, and in the cosmic energies. Just as what happens in the cosmos with planetary alignments, retrogrades, and whatnot filters down and has an effect on you, the individual. Everything is affected. So if you want to do your part in changing the world, the change has to start with you. And so what's happening is right now, everybody on the planet is being given an opportunity to reassess where they fit in the world. What in the current canvas that they have do they like? And what in that current canvas do they want to change? What doesn't fit for them anymore? That's the part that you have your greatest control of, is the choices that we have right now in how we act as a collective, whether we, stay at home and physical distance and wash our hands and be aware, will have an effect on the collective. The more people that do the things has a greater ripple, right? Just as the intent and the mindset that we set for ourselves right now throughout this experience, if it is one that is steeped in fear, we're going to create more fear. But if we do it steeped in love, peace, curiosity for self, we're going to create a world and a ripple effect that has that vibrate to it. So it really comes back to what you wish to create because of this experience will then help to change the world. It does. It starts with you. It always does. So this, again, like I said, is an opportunity, they're saying, for humanity to go within and discover who they are. Discover what their real truths are. Because if you think about it, we've been living in a world that is so fast-paced, right? You guys all know this. We've been living in a world that is so fast. We're always asking for more time. I wish there was more hours in a day. I wish I could go to the gym. I wish I could spend more time with my family. I wish I could do this. I wish for more time. And look at what we're being given right now. We're being forced to slow ourselves down and not be so busy. Busyness has become this addiction in our world right now. And I have fallen into it a ton of times myself. But this is giving us an opportunity to undo that pattern or that rut or that route that we follow of busyness. We undo it. We recreate it. And so what does quality life look like now? Is it quality life and time with your family? Is it time spending in solitude in which you're not running from yourself from within? You're actually going inside and exploring who you are. If you're triggered by certain things in the news, why are you triggered? What does that trigger in you? Find the root. These are some of the exciting things that we can do right now and we can spend time in to discover. So that when we come out of this experience of the pandemic, we are coming out with a greater sense of self, a greater sense of our place in the world, a greater sense in unity, because think of it this way. At the same time as we're working on ourselves individually, the world is having to work as a collective. And if we look at countries are having to communicate with other countries that maybe had blocked each other off, cut each other off, shut them out. They're having to come together as a unit now. They're having to come together and share information to help discover, understand, and then move through the pandemic right now. Nobody knows exactly what's going on. Everybody is in this mixing pot of trying to figure it out. But what's happening is that, in a sense, is giving a giant, it's giving the world a giant team building opportunity, in a sense. And again, I'm saying these things from that spirit level. I'm not taking away the actual human aspects and the impacts of it. Those are very real. These are scary times in some ways, but again, within all that's happening, you can see the different layers and then choose within your own right how you wish to react, how you wish to be positive in these circumstances. Even in concepts of anxiety, you're going to be feeling individual anxiety and the collective anxiety. But this is giving you an opportunity to discover what anxiety is for you, where it sits, again, what the triggers are, and where the root of it is. And when you move through that, you have an opportunity to undo that. Think of it like a backpack. They're kind of showing me this image in my mind. Think of it like a backpack. We all have a backpack, and throughout our lives, from the moment we're born until this moment right now, we've collected things and put them in our backpack. Experiences, journeys, adventures, triumphs, pitfalls. They're all in our backpack, and some of them we've moved through and we've taken it out. We no longer need it. Other ones we're going to keep in there for life because those are great. But there's a lot of other ones, and every once in a while it's a good idea to go through that backpack and see, unpack it all, lay it all out, clean out the backpack, and then decide, what do you want to put back in? What resonates with you? What do you need on your journey moving forward now? This is our opportunity to clean out our backpack. So, something for you to ponder. There's so much more as well. And I will continue to post on YouTube as well now. So see how this opportunity in this pandemic can help you get to know you better, which in turn helps you to create a greater ripple effect of goodness, which in turn will have a greater effect in the collective and the cosmic. So I'm wishing you all so much health and wellness today, and I'll be back soon.